Carnival's Grin. In the heart of a quiet college town, where the rhythm of academia pulsed through the streets, a yearly event broke the monotony, the Ashford Campus Carnival. The students eagerly anticipated its arrival, seeing it as a brief escape from the lecture halls and textbooks. For a few days each year, the town was transformed into a whirlwind of colors, laughter, and dizzying rides. Sophia, a college freshman with a penchant for adventure, had heard about the carnival long before she ever set foot on campus. Her curiosity piqued. She made a promise to herself. She would not let this year's carnival slip through her fingers. With a group of friends in tow, she entered the vibrant world of the Ashford Carnival. The carnival's atmosphere was electrifying. Bright lights illuminated the night sky, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of cotton candy. Laughter and screams of delight echoed from the various rides, and colorful booths lined the midway. Sophia's excitement was palpable as she and her friends explored the attractions, from the dizzying roller coasters to the whimsical games of chance. However, as they ventured deeper into the carnival, a sense of unease began to gnaw at Sophia. It wasn't the rides or the bustling crowds that unsettled her. It was a single figure that seemed to be everywhere she looked, a clown. The clown was unlike any she had ever seen. Its makeup was a twisted fusion of comedy and horror. The red smile that stretched from ear to ear seemed painted with blood, and its eyes were dark voids, devoid of any emotion. Yet, it moved with an eerie grace, dancing through the crowds and performing tricks that left onlookers both amused and disturbed. Sophia tried to shake off her unease, chalking it up to an irrational fear of clowns. She had heard of coulrophobia, the fear of clowns, but she had never considered herself afflicted by it. Still, she couldn't deny the sense of dread that clung to her like a shadow. As the night wore on, Sophia's friends became increasingly enamored with the carnival's attractions, but she couldn't tear her eyes away from the clown. It seemed to be following her, its painted smile fixed on her like a malevolent moon. It never approached, never spoke, but its presence was suffocating. Desperate for a reprieve, Sophia decided to visit the fortune teller's tent, hoping that a glimpse into her future might distract her from the clown's relentless gaze. The tent was a small, dimly lit space adorned with colorful scarves and hanging crystals. An elderly woman with piercing eyes sat at the table, her fingers tracing the lines of a tarot card. Sophia hesitated for a moment before sitting down. She didn't truly believe in fortune-telling, but anything was better than being watched by that clown. The fortune-teller smiled, her eyes never leaving the cards. "Ah, you seek answers, my dear. Let us see what the cards have to say." She shuffled the deck and laid out a spread of cards, their vibrant imagery contrasting with the dimness of the tent. As she began to interpret the cards, her voice took on an otherworldly quality, sending shivers down Sophia's spine. "The Fool. The Tower. The Devil," the fortune-teller murmured, her fingers tracing the cards as if in a trance. "You are in the midst of a great upheaval, my dear. A sinister presence haunts you." Sophia's heart pounded. She had expected a vague prediction, not this chilling revelation. "The Devil," the fortune-teller continued, her gaze now fixed on Sophia. "Beware the grinning demon that follows you, for it seeks to claim your soul." Sophia's breath caught in her throat. It was as if the fortune-teller had read her thoughts, seen the clown that tormented her. As she hurriedly left the fortune-teller's tent, the carnival around her seemed to shift. The once vibrant lights now cast sinister shadows, and the laughter of the crowd took on a haunting quality. Sophia's friends urged her to enjoy the carnival, but the fortune-teller's words echoed in her mind. With a growing sense of unease, Sophia returned to her dorm room later that night, hoping that the safety of her own space would provide respite from the clown's relentless presence. She tried to shake off the fear that had taken hold of her, but found it impossible to forget the fortune-teller's warning. As she lay in bed, unable to sleep, Sophia heard a faint, rhythmic humming sound outside her window. It was a soft, eerie melody. She peered through the curtains and gasped. The clown, the same sinister figure from the carnival, stood beneath her window. Its painted smile seemed to stretch impossibly wide, and its dark eyes locked onto hers. Sophia's heart raced as she backed away from the window. But the clown followed, its laughter echoing through the night. Terrified and cornered, Sophia knew she had to confront the source of her fear. With trembling hands, she grabbed her phone and dialed her friends, urging them to meet her at her dorm. When they arrived, they found Sophia trembling and on the verge of tears. She pointed to the clown, still standing beneath her window, its presence as malevolent as ever. Her friends, initially skeptical, were taken aback by the clown's unnerving appearance. They decided it was probably one of their friends playing a bad joke and to confront it, hoping to put an end to Sophia's torment. Approaching the clown, they demanded answers. But it remained silent, its painted smile never wavering. In a fit of frustration, one of Sophia's friends reached out to wipe away the clown's makeup. What they discovered beneath the paint sent shockwaves through them. The clown's face was not that of a human but a grotesque, grinning skull. Its laughter transformed into a bone-chilling cackle as it lunged at them. They scattered, screaming in terror, but the clown pursued them relentlessly. Through the maze of carnival attractions, the friends ran for their lives, the clown's laughter growing louder with each passing moment. Desperate and fearing for their lives, they stumbled upon an old, abandoned funhouse, a place they had avoided earlier in the night. With no other options, they rushed inside and slammed the door shut behind them, hoping to find refuge within its darkened halls. The interior of the funhouse was a maze of twisting corridors and mirrored walls. The friends huddled together, their breaths ragged, as they tried to catch their bearings. The clown's laughter echoed from outside, growing closer by the second. As they navigated the funhouse's labyrinthine passages, they realized that the mirrors were not reflecting their own images but instead showed glimpses of a nightmarish carnival. Twisted versions of themselves and the clown lurked in the reflections, trapped in an eternal nightmare. The friends pressed forward, driven by a desperate need to escape the clown's relentless pursuit. They encountered bizarre and surreal scenes within the funhouse, rooms filled with distorted mirrors, floors that seemed to shift beneath their feet, and corridors that led to dead ends. With each step, their sense of reality unraveled, and they couldn't shake the feeling that they had entered a realm where nightmares came to life. The clown's laughter taunted them from all directions, its presence an ever-present threat. As they ventured deeper into the funhouse, they stumbled upon a room unlike any they had seen before. The walls were adorned with countless mirrors, each one reflecting a different version of themselves and the clown. In the center of the room stood a grotesque, grinning carousel with clown figures mounted on its seats. Desperation pushed them to enter the room, and as they did, the door slammed shut behind them, trapping them inside. The carousel came to life, its eerie music filling the air as it began to spin. The friends were forced onto its creaking seats, their screams drowned out by the cacophony of the carnival. The carousel spun faster and faster, its mirrored walls distorting their reflections into grotesque parodies of themselves. They reached out in vain, trying to stop the relentless motion, but it was futile. The laughter of the clown echoed through the room, growing louder and more deranged. In their distorted reflections, they saw the clown drawing closer, its painted smile widening impossibly. It reached out with skeletal fingers, ready to claim them. As the world spun around them, the friends realized that they were trapped in the carnival's nightmarish grip, forever entwined in a twisted dance with the clown. Outside the funhouse, the carnival continued, oblivious to the horrors that had unfolded within. The laughter of children and the melodies of calliopes filled the air, masking the screams that would forever remain trapped within the carnival's dark heart.